Hi, my friends. Happy Pumpkin Week! Last week, we started our fall mini unit. And our unit, which was a span of time that we learn about something, right? Our unit was on fall, the topic of apples for the week. This week, we're going to be learning about pumpkins. Now, I had tried to get an actual pumpkin for my video, but unfortunately, Miss Rimitz wasn't able to find one just yet. But luckily, I have a fake pumpkin here. Now, pumpkins are so popular in the fall, just like apples. And that's because this is the season that they're ready to be harvested, which means they're ready to be picked. They spend the year growing though, and then in the fall, people have so many cultural ways that they use them. Culture is how a group of people that live in the same area or maybe live very similarly celebrate their life, maybe with holidays or what they like to watch or what they like to eat. That's something that a culture has. It's what all these people do in common. So, part of our culture is that we have a Halloween party, or part of our culture is that we like to have pizza parties, or part of our culture is that we celebrate holidays like the 4th of July. That's American culture. No other country celebrates the 4th of July because the 4th of July is an American cultural holiday. So in pumpkin culture, there are so many things that you can do. There's crafts, there's eating things for pumpkins, and there's just fun pumpkin picking activities. Can you think of anything that you do with a pumpkin? Hmm, I can think of a couple ways. I don't know about you, but when I think of pumpkins, I immediately think of jack-o'-lanterns. Jack-o'-lanterns are when you carve the top of a pumpkin off, but you make it just small enough that it can still fit in there, kind of like the lid to a bowl or to a cup or to maybe some sort of jar. It's closing it in there, right? When you take that off, you scoop out all the insides so that it's hollow, kind of like a lamp. And then you get to put a little candle or some sort of light inside, and anything that you carved out of the jack-o'-lantern, which is famous for being a face, it lights up like that and it looks like it's glowing in the night. Jack-o'-lanterns are so much fun to carve. Have any of you ever carved a pumpkin and made it a jack-o'-lantern? Does yours look very typical like this? Is it scary like this one? Maybe silly and cute like this one? Or have you gone really crazy and had some sort of design? Here's a witch in front of the moon. Here's a dopey monster. And here's a tree. That's insane. You have to be very careful when you're carving a pumpkin, my friends. But there's so many designs that you can do. If you ever carve a pumpkin, totally send me pictures and I'll share them with the class. I would love to see if you're a designer, a silly one, or a scary designer for your Halloween jack-o'-lanterns. Another thing that I think of when I think of pumpkins is pumpkin seeds. Once you've carved out all that gook and all those seeds in the middle of your jack-o'-lantern, what do you do with them? Do you throw them out or do you clean them off, put them on a little pan like this, and put them in the oven? They cook, and it's called roasting the seeds. And if you put some salt on them, they taste really good because you can actually eat the inside of these seeds shells, which is really fun. If you're going to be making a jack-o'-lantern, totally try taking out those seeds and making something with them. Just like how people maybe eat apples, but they also like to eat the insides or make apple sauce, right? Another way to eat a pumpkin is pumpkin pie. Yes, pumpkin pie is a very popular dish in the fall. I'm not a big fan of pie. It's a little mushy for me, but maybe you like taking out all those insides of your pumpkin and carving it up and then baking it to be this orangey treat that a lot of people like to put whipped cream on. My friends, how do you use pumpkins in the fall? Do you even like eating pumpkins? Or are they just for crafts? Or do you not care about pumpkins at all? I would love to know. Today and tomorrow, I'm going to be reading to you Pooh's Pumpkin. Have you ever seen Winnie the Pooh or seen a movie, watched the show, read books about Winnie the Pooh? Well, I have a little longer story that I'm going to stretch over to those 2 days. And when you're in class with me, we'll read two other stories about pumpkins, but we'll be doing that later on in the week. I hope you enjoy reading Pooh's Pumpkin with me, and I can't wait to see if you have been doing it, all those wonderful jack-o'-lanterns. Send them my way, and I can't wait to see them. See you this afternoon. Bye. Hi, my first grade friends. As you know, it is Pumpkin Week, and I am going to be reading you a longer story this week for our asynchronous days. It's called Pooh's Pumpkin. Now, I don't know if you know Winnie the Pooh, but I love him. I grew up with him. I was actually Winnie the Pooh 2 years ago for Halloween. Yeah, so that was fun. I think Winnie the Pooh is an adorable character, and he has so much to teach us. Well, this day in this book, he is going to be talking about pumpkins, though kind of learning about what these pumpkins do, and how they grow and stuff. So today and tomorrow, we'll be reading this for our asynchronous day. Let's get started. Okay, here we have Pooh's Pumpkin. That's Pooh and that's Piglet. Try and see if there's anything you've learned about pumpkins so far. Or if you haven't learned much with me yet, maybe you can think of things you already know about pumpkins and see if you've seen the same thing as Pooh. One sunny spring day, Pooh and Christopher Robin saw a rabbit planting seeds in his garden. "Rabbit," asked Pooh, "what are you planting?" "Pumpkin seeds," said Rabbit. "I would like to grow a pumpkin too," said Pooh. "A growing pumpkin needs special care," said Rabbit. "I will take good care of it," promised Pooh. Robert handed Pooh a seed. Oh, look, it's a pumpkin seed, very tiny, but bigger than a lot of other seeds. Pooh and Christopher Robin found a sunny spot near Pooh's house to plant the pumpkin seed. "I will sit here and watch the pumpkin grow," said Pooh. "But Pooh," Christopher Robin said, "the pumpkin will not be ripe until next fall." That's a lot of sitting. Yeah, I don't know about you, but he just planted it. We all know that plants can take a long time to grow, especially if it's like an apple tree. Luckily here it's just a pumpkin, but it still needs to grow its vine, its flowers, then eventually make that small pumpkin become nice and big. But I guess he didn't know just how long it takes. "My pumpkin needs special care," said Pooh, "and that's just what I'll give it. But first I have to get something to eat." Pooh went into his house and gathered all of his honey pots. Then he went back outside and sat with his honey. Oh, bears love honey. He watched the spot where the seed was planted. He watched and ate and watched. And spring turned into summer. Use chunky monkey, summer. Yep, that's the next season. Well, but then fall after that. In the middle of the summer, Piglet stopped by. "What a pretty vine you are growing, Pooh," he said. "Look, the seeds turned into a vine." "Oh, but Piglet," Pooh said sadly, "I wanted a pumpkin, not a vine." Think about what you already know about pumpkins. They don't just poof, pop out of thin air, right? They don't just poof, pop up out of the ground. There's a process. It takes a lot of time. I think Pooh thinks he grew something else. Pooh went on caring for the vine, and at the end of summer, a flower was on the vine. Pooh was looking at that flower when Owl stopped by. "Pooh, your flower looks just right. Keep up the good work," said Owl. "Oh, but Owl," said Pooh sadly, "I wanted a pumpkin, not a flower." "Pooh, I will be happy to tell you what you are growing. You have a vine, you have a flower. A flower grows on a vine before there is a cucumber. You are growing a cucumber," Owl stated. Wait a second, I thought Owl seems very smart, but I thought that rabbit gave him a pumpkin seed. Did they give him a cucumber seed? They look similar to pumpkin seeds, but they're very small. Oh my, Pooh said. I wonder if cucumbers taste good with honey. Think, said Pooh to himself. Rabbit gave me a pumpkin seed, so it should grow into a pumpkin. I will keep caring for this plant and see what grows. Ooh, what happens next? Let's see. I'm not going to show you. My first grade friends were halfway through Pooh's pumpkin. We see that he's already starting to grow, something. We thought it was a pumpkin, but then Al swooped in and told us it just might not be. Think about what you already know about pumpkins. If you've ever been to a pumpkin patch, maybe you've seen the different stages of a pumpkin's life cycle. So you know maybe this is a pumpkin, or yeah, it might be a cucumber. I'm very curious. We're halfway through the book, so I can't wait to see what happens to the rest of this thing that he is growing and what he ends up doing with it. My friends, I'll see you this afternoon. I hope you enjoy the story, and tomorrow I'll read the second half. Bye.